This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
It's a new year
and a new season.
24/7 Buff Fandemonium isn't just a page.
It's a family.
a passionate group of positive Buffalo football fans
To embrace the character and fight of this team
We strive to embody this passion
and present a fan-first perspective.
without all the fluff.
Enter the
K-Gun Report.
Season 2.
The first season was exciting for 24/7 Buff Fandemonium.
Talking football, connecting with fans, and having quality conversation.
This season, we're stepping it up, and we want you all to come be a part of the conversation.
On March 9th, 2021,
The K-Gun Report
Is back.
let's go, Buffalo!
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
It's a new year
and a new season.
24/7 Buff Fandemonium isn't just a page.
It's a family.
a passionate group of positive Buffalo football fans
To embrace the character and fight of this team
We strive to embody this passion
and present a fan-first perspective.
without all the fluff.
Enter
the K-Gun Report.
Season 2.
The first season was exciting for 24/7 Buff Fandemonium.
Talking football, connecting with fans, and having quality conversation.
This season, we're stepping it up, and we want you all to come be a part of the conversation.
On March 9th, 2021,
The K-Gun Report
Is back.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 24/7 Buff Fandemonium presents The K-Gun Report, Season 2, Episode 3. Sorry, we're a little delayed. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. As you can see, Scott's situation over there is a little bit different, but we have Swank there as well. I can't see him, unfortunately. I like to see his face, but hey, what are you going to do? And
I'm just making fun of you.
and that you just saw pop in, we have our special guest, Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
I gotta change this Boston Red Sox background before I get any crap.
I know. I think we just lost half the viewers.
Welcome,
Welcome,
Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan.
I got the Who T-shirt on though. Everybody likes the Who, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Who doesn't like the Who? I'm trying to see on Zoom here. I haven't been on this in a little bit. It's a little different for me.
It is.
What form do you use?
Ryan?
What was that?
What form do you use?
What form do I use? I use StreamYard. I've been using that lately. I really like it. It's it's a little bit easier for me. But hey, I'll use this as long as I can somehow figure out how to change this background. I want my Bills background.
Well, you got to be there. That'll stand for Bills, right?
Yeah, that'll stand for.
There you
Hey,
go.
this'll do. This'll do.
There you go.
There we go.
All right, well, everybody, I'm Jared. Tonight joining me, also I just mentioned Ryan, but we have Scott and Swank. Guys, give a hey.
Hey.
There you go. All right, so we've had a lot. Actually, before we get started, I just want to do a friendly reminder that we have for today's show, actually for every show, we have stickers still. So if you want to personal message us your address, we'll send it right out to you for free. Today is also a giveaway show. Today's giveaway, you can see that right there. Whoop, a little close, a little bright. We have Brandon Tate rookie card signature. It's upper deck. So how do you get into the drawing for that, Scott? Let them know.
All you do is join the conversation and leave a comment.
How awesome is that? Wait, hold on. We have another special today too. A lot of you, when we started this about a year ago, Turkey, right? No. We started this about a year ago. We wanted to get a podcast going, but we didn't really know when that was going to happen. And then we invited a very good friend of ours, Justin Swank, and he's Mr. Swank there. And without him, this wouldn't be possible. So Swank, we want to give you a big little surprise here. What? I know your favorite guy is Bruce Smith. We got a rookie card, Bruce Smith, with a plaque on it for saying thank you for joining us and being a part of the teams, dude.
Hey! Thanks, man. That's awesome, dude.
There you go.
These guys, man.
Sorry, Ryan. I don't have anything for you, Ryan, but
if you PM us, we'll send you a sticker.
Being on the show is good enough. I'll take it. Being on the show is good enough.
You're welcome, bud.
All right, and we also have, if you can see behind me, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium black and white shirts still available if you want to just PM us your size, and we'll get that going for you too. They're $20 a piece, and they're 22 for the double XL. Guys, another busy week this past week. It's been kind of crazy. I don't know where to start. Oh yeah, I do. Well, Emmanuel Sanders, we signed him for a 1-year deal, $6 million. I'm just going to go out there. I'll ask you, Ryan, first. What do you think about Emmanuel Sanders pickup?
I'm very excited about it. I feel like this is a move that I'm not too surprised by, being that the Bills were interested in him. Brandon Beane, in particular, was interested in him multiple times, over the years, and we almost got him last year, almost got him the year before that. Dating back to even 2014, apparently, Emmanuel Sanders was saying that the Bills were interested in him. So to finally get him and bring him in, a pro's pro, truly experienced receiver. He's played with the likes of Big Ben and Drew Brees, and obviously he's a well-traveled receiver. But I think that experience is welcomed heading into what is supposedly, what I believe is a possible Super Bowl run here for the Buffalo Bills. And you need that experience in that locker room. And I think that he's a guy that will help Gabe Davis out and will help some of the younger receivers on this roster.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
Yeah, you pointed out.
You hit 100% on the head.
It's one of those crazy things where, like, all of a sudden we have the 3 best route runners in the NFL, at least 3 of the top 5. And I know people are saying he's older. Man, that dude's hungry. If you watch any of his workout videos, any of that stuff, he loves the game and he wants to be on a contender. So, well said, my man.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, and as far as the route running ability, I mean, I love John Brown. I want to give him a shout out. He did a lot for this team over the last couple seasons. Shout out to John Brown. Best of luck to him with the Raiders. Not too much luck, but we'll be classy and wish him some luck. And looking at how Brown leaves that opening in this offense, can Emmanuel Sanders kind of fill that role? I think he can, and I think he actually offers more to this Bills offense than what John Brown offered.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think he's a better route runner. I think he actually catches the balls a lot better. And he's been around the league. He knows the route tree. He's just a little slower, but he brings that spreadability of the field to the Bills back after losing John Brown. And we got a lot of people that are upset about, well, Brown makes a lot less money in Vegas. How come we had to pay $6 million for Emmanuel Sanders? Well, if Brown stayed with the Bills, he would cost over $8 million. So we did better in the cap space as far as signing Emmanuel Sanders as opposed to keeping Brown.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely a huge factor this offseason as well. I mean, with all the COVID stuff, and Brandon Bean has been a wizard as far as manipulating the cap. They just signed Isaiah McKenzie, which I'm sure we'll get to for a year, $1 million and change, which I thought was a great deal. So Brandon Bean, man, he's working his magic, that's for sure.
And that's a raise McKenzie got.
Yeah, I mean that's a raise that he got. Yeah, I mean we were able to keep him around on a raise, which it was a slight raise, but hey, he took it, and I'll take it too.
Yeah, last year I don't know how long a couple of years. I remember picking up on fantasy football teams every once in a while, but last year he had 61 catches, 726 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So that's a pretty good stat line for an older guy. Swank, I know. McKenzie's your guy. What do you think about that signing with him?
You mean Lil Dirty? That's
Lil
dude,
Dirty.
Man. I'm really excited. I love him. I love the way he plays. I love the way he works out. He's like a huge hype man for the locker room. I don't know, man. You couldn't have done much better, I don't think, signing that kind of caliber player that can fit in those little spots and execute it the way he does for that little money. And he loves the team. I mean, it's another testament to like those kind of signings where Brandon Bean has developed and Sean McDermott has developed the kind of team that players want to stay at, whether they're playing for a discount or not.
And the thing with McKenzie is his responsibilities are going to go up a little bit. He's obviously going to be the punt returner, kick returner this year. He's our gadget guy with the sweeps. Swank would like to see him in the backfield for that speed back position.
Montgomery.
Yeah, like the Montgomery position. But his role is going to increase a little bit. And I think he's more than able to manage it. Let's keep in mind what he did when he came in for Beasley last year. So not only are they getting a punt returner, kick returner, but they're getting someone in case Beasley goes down, can handle that slot position.
Yeah, and he showed that he definitely could. That's for sure. I'm liking it. I want to stick to the offense, and I want to also one thing we touched on before is he played with Beasley down at SMU, so he has that familiarity with him. And what a great they're back together, and they had a pretty good run there when they're at SMU. Another guy that's bringing familiarity to the team, not necessarily Buffalo, but to Josh Allen, is the signing of Jacob Hollister, tight end. And I remember seeing him here and there for Seattle. I remember him being halfway decent, but I never really focused on him. Anybody got any opinions? I know I like it, but anybody else got opinions when people are going to sit there and argue that we're maybe trying to go for the Philadelphia Eagles there, Ertz guy, compared to Hollister that we actually got?
Yeah, I mean, I think Hollister's the kind of guy we needed. He'll bring competition. He went to school with Josh and caught balls from him in Wyoming. We don't need a Zach Ertz. I know everybody was ringing the bell for it, and I was definitely on that bandwagon too. Anytime you get a veteran, try to add another weapon for Josh, like that's a good day, right? But the kind of money that he probably would have demanded on top of like whatever that GM is doing in Philadelphia to screw up that team, like I don't know, man. I don't think it was down Bean's aisle. So I'm glad that we skirted that, and it's the same formula, right? Like if you get a guy, you're like, this is why we love this guy, and if you miss on a guy, you're like, oh, he's too old and washed up anyway, so who cares,
That's how we roll.
So
Brian,
let's
what do you think about Hollister?
What he did in Seattle. Seattle was a heavy run team. They had Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. They threw the ball to Carson and out of the backfield quite a bit. And they also had Disley, who was their starting tight end. So I don't think Jacob was used to his potential. If you watch his Wyoming film, he spreads the field. He splits that middle of the field wide open. So, and Josh Allen's thrown back at him. So I think it's a great pickup for what, $1.12 million?
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I agree. I like the pickup a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense for this offense to have Dawson Knox, Jacob Hollister kind of battling things out, kind of having a 1A to Knox's 1B or vice versa, whoever, ends up being the starting tight end. It's more of a two tight end set I think we're going to start to see with Hollister and Knox. And I like that Hollister is a big athletic guy that can really do a little bit of everything. He can block, he can catch, he can get yards after catch, but he wasn't in an offense where he was used a whole lot, to your point there. And I believe that Knox wasn't really used a whole lot in college. So it's kind of the opposite. Whereas Hollister was used in college, Knox wasn't. Knox has been used a little bit sparingly with the Bills as well, but we've seen his usage be a little bit of an uptick these last couple of years, year two compared to year one, of course. So I'm excited to see, these guys kind of battle it out and try to get the leg up on one another come training camp time. That's a position that I'm keeping my eye on for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all competition, right? And these guys will bring out the best in them. And let's not forget, I mean, this is third year for Knox, right? I mean, we are all dogging him for these drops, but when he's trucking over Bengals defenders, nobody's clamoring for him to sit the bench. You know what I mean? So,
and I think the criticism, I will say too, I think the criticism of Dawson Knox is I think it's a little premature. He's a young player in the league. He's entering his third season, and Dable hasn't exactly used the tight ends as much as the receivers, obviously, with Diggs and Beasley and formerly Brown, now probably Emmanuel Sanders. So, and Gabe Davis, of course. So I expect the tight ends to be used more this season for their offense. And I'm hopeful that, we see these guys bring out the best in one another. Competition breeds success. So I'm excited to see how that materializes. And as far as Zach Ertz, to your point, that third round pick that they wanted, that we can keep our third round pick. I don't want Zach Ertz for a third round pick.
absolutely.
Especially as what Bean does with our third round picks.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
All right. But Mike Vogt said Ertz, while a great tight end, he would be too expensive with signing Hollister. It gives Allen someone he is already familiar with. Great point. And Alberto says, I say whatever makes the Bills better. Bean and McDermott are doing great. And then Christian, I think we'll draft another tight end as well. And that's what the draft is for, is to fill that room with as many great players as you can, fill that field, and then you go from there.
Jared, real quick, I want to add this in.
Yeah.
Seattle had a pretty good running game, too. They had a pretty good running game.
Yeah.
That was it.
He was their tight end. So the Bills fans that want a little bit of a run game, they brought in a tight end that can be that blocking tight end for them. At least Smith replacement, but can run the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good point. So last year we all preached that saying iron sharpens iron, right? So you bring Hollister in there hopefully to make Knox better and vice versa. But there's another new signing that we had earlier this week that everybody's been talking about. It's the signing of Levi Wallace back onto the team for 1 year. Ryan, what's that mean in that corner? Levi Wallace coming back with Dane Jackson and Tareen Neal and all those guys.
I love it. And I know that Levi Wallace is one of those polarizing players on this team as well. I feel like it is split down the middle between people that love Levi Wallace, people that see potential in Levi Wallace, people that just don't see any potential in him. They feel like the Bills are somewhat keeping things kind of too long with him around and giving him another chance. They feel like they're giving him another chance. I feel like Levi Wallace has plenty of room to grow. He's a young player, and he was an undrafted free agent out of Bama and didn't really get the snaps in Bama that, most corners that come out of Bama are accustomed to getting. So he comes into Buffalo and he's playing behind Trey White. You're going to target Levi Wallace instead of Trey White. If you pick on Levi Wallace and make him pay for it, you're obviously going to make him pay for it again and again and again. So Levi Wallace has kind of fell victim to playing alongside Trey White and how dominant Trey White is. It's exposed Levi Wallace in some of the, instances in games. But I did see him getting better towards the end of the year, especially in man coverage. It's just one of those things. I think that this is another position, corner and tight end, are the two positions I'd say that we're going to see competition. Dane Jackson, I thought, was fantastic towards the end of the year as well. So we'll see Jackson and Levi Wallace kind of battle things out. And don't be shocked if they draft a corner maybe in the second, third round, or maybe even in the first round. So,
Bean did go to Florida and Alabama this week.
Yeah, so I think that we could see that happen, and the secondary is a strong point of this team, and I do think Levi Wallace is a part of that. I do see a lot of room for Levi Wallace to grow, and I'm glad they gave him another year and another shot to prove his worth.
Yeah, and a quick little quote on Levi: "Don't counter any offers. I want to be in Buffalo. Here, I want to be in Buffalo. Here, we're going to win the Super Bowl." So that's pretty awesome point.
And you want to go back to that. You want to go back to that iron sharpens iron. Our corners now have to cover Emmanuel Sanders, Beasley, Davis, Diggs. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right now on the roster, currently signed Trey White, Taron Johnson, Levi Wallace, Dane Jackson, Cam Lewis, and Siren Neal. He's a safety now, but he can play a corner. So there's 6. I can see them address the cornerback position in the first or second round. I agree with you, Ryan. And I don't think Asani Samuel or Patrick Surtain will be available at 30, but if they are, Bills will pick them up.
Yeah, and imagine getting a guy like that, a Surtain or a Samuel. In Sean McDermott's defense, it's geared towards the secondary. Whether he was in Philly or Carolina, he's had a lot of success with secondary players, and obviously here in Buffalo with White, Hyde, and Poyer. And, I don't know about you guys, but I was just left feeling like for as much frustration that we could have had with Levi Wallace, I was even more frustrated with bringing in a veteran like Josh Norman, who really just didn't have much left in the tank. Let's give some of these young guys a chance to kind of prove their worth and see what they're made of. As far as another name that you dropped, Cam Lewis, that's a guy out of UB that, you want to talk about a guy that was juiced up to play for the Bills. He comes from, Amherst, playing for the UB Bulls, gets selected, signed as an undrafted free agent by the Bills. And he physically changed his whole body. He looked like a completely different person when I saw him at training camp. So from when he was in college. So that's exciting too. I think there's a lot of guys on this team that not many people are talking about that could, compete for a starting spot.
Yeah, I'm saying this right now. Dane Jackson, CB number 2 by season start.
I'd be okay with that. He's
bigger, faster, stronger. If he learns the game like Trey White's got it, I think he'll be CB number 2. Easy.
Well, I think Trey White's 5'11" 3/4. Dane Jackson's 6 foot. Trey White, I think, is 192. Dane's 187. And I think, from what I remember, Dane Jackson ran a 4.57 and White ran a 4.47. So they're pretty similar.
What's their hand size, Jared? You got that down?
I think. I don't know. No, it's on the board in front of me. Swank, what's your take on the whole quarterback and Levi Wallace?
I don't know, man. I know a lot of people hate on Levi, and I understand it. And I think Ryan makes a perfect point. Like, he got picked on. That's been his story for the last couple of years. And you got somebody like Trey White. Like, obviously, I mean, offenses don't even hide the fact that they try to throw away from him, right? So, I think Levi's upped his game. I don't think anybody can say he's gotten worse. He's gotten nothing but better over the last couple seasons. We forget that he's beat out everybody that they brought in to take his job for like the last 2 seasons too. That being said, I love Dane Jackson, man. And just that little bit, he's like that Homer Buffalo Bills guy that you want to root for. He comes in, he makes these big plays, like the 2 or 3 times that he's put into the rotation, and you get pumped. And late round pick, Hail Mary story, like everybody wants to pull for that kid. And I am not excluded from that group. I definitely am pulling for Dan Jackson. I'll tell you what I did do today. There was an NFL clip. They were I can't remember like what it is, but it's the NFL channel put them out, and it was like a tide change or whatever. And it was Taron Johnson.
The momentum
pick 6.
Yep.
What is it?
Yep. Yeah, what the turning point in the game.
It's
called turning point of the game. Yeah.
So Taron Johnson's pick 6, and they went through all of that, and man, he's gotten way better. Like, like you look at him, you hear him talk about it, and he's like, yeah, I'm just reading the eyes and blah blah blah. And I remember everything about that play, but Trey White, dude, leading stride for stride and getting in the way of Lamar Jackson to save that tackle. Oh my god, it was just great. Anyway, I'll just wash about it all night.
Rewind, play.
Yeah, that's a nice 11-minute video too, and I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times. So I'm right there, Swink. That was a good moment in Bill's history. And like what Scott mentioned last
It's like
season,
frozen at my house.
that name is forever going to be in Buffalo Bills history for that pick 6. Kind of like
Absolutely.
Carlton Bailey against the Denver Broncos against Elway. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Don't be afraid to leave a comment in the comment section. I see we got like 15 viewers. If you leave your name there, you're going to be in for the drawing. Brandon Tate. There you go. That was kind of quick and wiggly, but hey. All right, let's get to the next topic.
I think we just got Jared's new nickname.
Guys, all right, Swank, I'm gonna let you lead the way for this one. Mitch Trubisky.
Who?
At first I think a lot of Trubisky. Scott, how do you say it? You go.
Trubisky.
There you go.
It's
Anyway, Mr.
Trubisky.
T, we'll call him. I think a lot of people were shocked with the first, and when they heard about it at first. But when you sit back and you think about it, I think it's a great pickup. He's going to be better than most backups in the league, and as long as teams don't have to have a game plan against him, I think he's got high potential. Swank, what do you think about Mr. T there?
I think I was like Mr. T.
It's an easy way out of it.
I think I was like most Bills fans where I heard that news and everybody was waiting for the Ertz thing, and it's like, oh man, there's a big signing, and it was like Mitch Trubisky. What?
You spelled Ertz wrong.
Yeah, that's not how you spell Philip Lindsay. But like, I sat there and I'm like, really? And then the more I thought about it, I was like, this is genius. Like, Matt Barkley doesn't need to be there anymore. I love Matt Barkley, but Josh doesn't need like a dad in the locker room. He needs like somebody that can bail us out of a game or two.
Very
right?
true.
One of you guys predicted at the beginning of last season that Matt Barkley would be right. Oh yeah, it was Jared. I'm sorry. Well, you guys look similar. So you guys predicted that, right? I don't think Matt could have won those games.
Right.
Yeah, Mitch
I had high hopes.
I wanted a 1-year deal, a prove it deal, and it's like not a secret that it is. Brandon Bean came out and was like, he's not going to be here long. Like, so like they're priming him up to get him into the next team he's going to go to and probably start somewhere. They could be pulling even a Patriots move, like get him in enough to show, hey, he's worked with Dable, he's worked in this offense, he's put the time in, some preseason games. You can make that guy trade bait. Halfway through the season, some of these loser teams are really going to be looking for a quarterback again, I bet.
I'm with you, Swank. Think about what they did with Allen in these 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now put Trubisky in the system, he's going to be better.
Dude, and you're doing, and I hate giving credit for it, but the Patriots, they were a great team, right? You are literally doing exactly what they did with Tom Brady, where like you're breeding these backup quarterbacks that probably aren't worth a whole lot, but because they're in your system and they're succeeding in the little bit that anybody sees, that's it. Like
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Go on and on and on.
Brissett. Ryan, you like Mike or Mitch?
Mike?
I would honestly say out of the moves that they've made, this is probably, I love the Emmanuel Sanders move, but this move really, like I got Adam Schefter tweets it out that the Bills signed Mitch Trubisky, and I thought, wow, this is like that next level move that could make all the difference in the world. Because if Josh Allen, God forbid, were to go down, if Matt Barkley was in, I love Matt Barkley, great guy, and I love what he brought to the team for the time that he was here, but I couldn't fully feel comfortable with Matt Barkley coming in a 4-week stretch and feeling like we could go 2-2, let alone 3-1 or 4-0. With Mitch Trubisky, you look at Mitch Trubisky's numbers this past season, statistically, he was not terrible. He did not,
right.
He didn't have a great year, but he wasn't awful. And to the point that was made earlier, one of the better backups in the league. If Josh Allen were to go down, I would feel far more comfortable with Mitch Trubisky coming in and starting, 3-4 games if need be. And I feel like as far as physically what Allen can do, moving out of the pocket, throwing on the run, Mitch Trubisky can do a lot of those same things. Not as good as Josh Allen can, but they have very similar skill sets that you don't really have to change the offense a whole lot. If Allen were to go down and if Mitch Trubisky were to go in, the offense would stay relatively the same. And I think you would get similar results out of Mitch Trubisky with this offense.
Hey, and to your point, Mafia Fandemonium, ask yourselves, as surprising as this move was, personally, Mitch Trubisky can win games for Bills. And like you said, he's an Allen type guy. He's mobile. Barkley was an in the pocket passer, and we saw that when he came in, and they're just so different. Yes, Barkley was the glue in the locker room. He's a family guy, had the players out to dinner and all that stuff. But like Swank says, Allen doesn't need a father. He needs someone that can take his role if it has to be for 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you literally took a starting quarterback and made him your backup.
And dropped him from $16 million to 2.5.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how quickly people forget, because like his contract and when he got drafted, and the Bills were idiots for not drafting him right back in that Mahomes Trubisky draft class, and now all of a sudden he's a bum and a loser because the Bears don't know how to figure out their offense.
What number is he going to wear?
10, I think.
Emmanuel Sanders got 10.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the thing, right? I don't know.
I heard somewhere he was gonna wear 4 or a single digit. I don't. We don't know yet. But I thought honestly, like Mitch Trubisky, his first 4 years in Chicago, 2 of them were pretty decent, and 2 of them weren't so decent. So, I mean, Chicago. It's not like Chicago has anything to really write home about. And I know that there were a lot of other teams interested in Mitchell Trubisky. That's for sure. And Brandon Beane even said as much when they signed him and they announced it, that there are multiple teams that were looking to sign him. He's a young quarterback that rarely hits the free agency. It's rare to have a rookie contract type quarterback hit the free agent market right out of his rookie contract. And for us to get him as our backup for even a season in this season where the window of opportunity is right there for Buffalo to just take it, I really like this move. This is like I don't want to say it's a Super Bowl winning move, but it's a move that if you're fighting for home field advantage and your quarterback goes down, you might not miss much of a beat. And we need that home field advantage. That's the one takeaway that I have from this last postseason. I want home field advantage throughout the playoffs. If we can get that back with 75,000 fans in the stands, again, I think that we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I really do.
So that's another thing, right? The atmosphere of the stadium, when teams are winning, it makes everybody feel good. Now you bring in Mitch, Mr. T there, and he's been on a team that struggled over the last couple of years. What happens when you get him in the system where everybody's liking each other, everyone's clicking, people are smiling, having a good time? He's not getting ridiculed all the time for being below his potential. That mindset can do a lot for an athlete, and if he gets going in the right direction, hey, your name's called. You got to go out there now and perform. He's going to be like, yes, these guys have my back. These guys want to play for me. So that aspect of it too, the mental aspect of it's got to be something worth talking about too. So it's awesome.
And it's the little things, Jared. I'm just going to throw this in there real quick. He played in Chicago, so he's used to the wind, the snow, the elements. Yep. So you got somebody that could replace the quarterback in the cold elements.
And let's say, like, as far as planning ahead, right? Like preseason, however many weeks it's going to be, they've talked about changing it for years, but they haven't. So let's just say that it's 4 weeks. Let's say that Mitch Trubisky just tears it up as a backup in the preseason, and a team loses their quarterback in the preseason due to injury. Buffalo could trade him, and he could garner them maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick if the team is that desperate. So this league's crazy. You never know what can happen. And I really liked the Jake Fromm pick in the 5th round last year, and I liked that they made him like this emergency. They kind of kept him away from Barkley and Allen. I think they got high hopes for him. based on his skill set. So, who's to say that Mitch Trubisky does even make this final roster? Depending on if there's an injury with another team, he could be trade bait.
Yeah, which would be perfect. I mean, if you're looking at Houston right now with the situation with Deshaun Watson, that was a guy that you thought was going to go where, like, Carolina was knocking on. There was a ton of teams that were rumored, and he wants out of there. It's a bad atmosphere. Now with all this other stuff going on, I can't think that, like, he's going to go anywhere but stay in Houston if they let him now, So you got these things that pop up, man. There was a couple things in the comments. Our boy Mike Voigt, he said he's not sold on Trubisky, and that we definitely have more faith in him than he does. And then Chris Christian says Philly won the Super Bowl because they had a capable backup. It's a big
Nick
deal.
Foles.
That's absolutely right, man. That was a great point. So, but I think we've spent time on this guy.
On a backup quarterback. Hey, fans, we're not saying Trubisky's going to start, just so you know.
We're just okay. So, guys, let's move on to another different pickup, and that's Matt the Hawk, the punter.
They're football players too. Should we spend as much time as we did with Mitch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that for a punter. Scott, what's your take on the Hawk?
I think it was a financial decision. Bojo, I think, was going to ask for about $3 million a year. We got Hawk 3 years for $6 million, so just under $2 million a year. And their net average is like a 4-yard difference. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think Hawk actually had broke the record for punts inside the 20 for the Dolphins, right? 2 years ago. So he's got the ability to do a coffin corner if he needs to be.
And they had Reggie Roby for so long.
Reggie Roby.
Who remembers that name?
Not me.
This guy.
Back in Shea Stadium,
I
right?
think Bojo got to hide behind the fact that our offense was so ridiculous. He didn't have to punt a lot, and he's literally been the same player since he got here. It's like 50-50 whether he's going to kick a good ball, right? Like a really good ball. Either it's average or it's great or it's horrible. And he didn't have to punt a lot, so I think that we got the cream. I think it was probably a good way to get out.
Ryan, do you like to talk about punters?
I love punters. I love the fact that football is a three-dimensional game, three-phase game. Field position is important, so punter is important too. No, I honestly, I'm not too shocked by the fact that they did change punters. I feel like Corey Bojorquez, for as good as the stat line was, there were some moments where there were some punts that were pretty bad, and clutch moments too.
Yep.
There was the shank punt where it was like a 12-yard punt, and the broadcast team was like, "Wow, this is Buffalo. They don't punt often." But if you're not punting often and your punter shanks one, that's even that much more of a black eye on the team and on field position. So I'm feeling like this is an experienced punter, a guy that's been in every which scenario, every which situation, and I think that this is an improvement. Multi-year deal where they were having some trouble signing Bojo to a long-term deal. You got to go where the player is willing to go, and with a player that's willing to come to your team, and Matt Hawk was that guy. So another solid, smart move from Brandon Beane, and I think that this is an improvement.
Agree.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then we have Tywan Jones, special teamer. He's coming back, which is exciting too, because special teams did very well this past season anyway.
Yep.
All right. How you guys feeling about this week's pickups? I'm excited. You guys want to move on to state of the AFC East for a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's talk about all these desperate moves that these guys are making to keep up with the Bills.
You guys want to get right to it and talk about the Patriots? You want to wait for that to be last?
It doesn't matter.
Listen, I'm going to spend the most time on that, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's something. It's a different approach now, isn't it? That we're not used to. Is teams are finally trying to keep up with what the Buffalo Bills are doing because we're at the top of the league there. So it's pretty interesting to see these teams frantically pick up people.
A huge, great narrative that the Patriots are back now. It's awesome. I love it.
All right, so we know that the Jets are lost, right? So we don't really need to touch on them much, right? Unless there's somebody on there that you think is going to make that much of a dramatic difference, that they might contend with the Bills.
Jets
Anybody
made some
got
good
anything?
moves. They got Carl Lawson, Sheldon Rankins, a couple wide receivers, and Corey Davis and Keelan Cole. But you know what they're not doing? They're not addressing the quarterback situation. Darnold's still there, and I can't tell you who the backup is, James Morgan. But I think they'll draft a quarterback in the first round. So if it's Sam Darnold or if it's a rookie quarterback,
I can't tell you who it
coming
is.
close.
No,
No.
it's another rebuilding year. They might as well roll with Sam. You know what I mean? I don't see why you would do anything else at this point. Like, you entertain trade offers and whatever, you say he's on the block and nobody comes knocking in a QB like heavy need year. I don't know. You know how I feel about. Do you know how I feel about Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
You know how I feel.
Love him.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I love him the same way I love Phillip Rivers, who got hyped for a bunch of crap he never accomplished. Never got Super Bowl, never did anything. Everybody, if he had a better team, yeah, same thing. Now Sam Darnold's got a better team. Show it. Because he was supposed to be better than Josh Allen forever. He's
Yeah.
best. Doesn't matter. Josh Allen has all these great accolades. It doesn't matter, dude. Josh Allen's got a playoff win. Doesn't matter. Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold had Jerry Rice in his prime,
See what happens when he starts with the Jets?
Yeah, sorry.
That's why I wanted to get it out of the way quick.
What do you
Brian, do you have
think,
anything
Brian?
positive to say about the Jets?
Like all of us right now, it's March 23rd, 2021. We're wondering what the Jets are going to do in the draft. Think of the dumbest thing that they could possibly do. That's probably what they're going to do. You look at the Jets franchise history. That's all they've done in draft night, draft day, opening draft, first round, pick after pick after pick. Just reach after reach after reach, forced pick after forced pick after forced pick. I would not be shocked in the slightest if they took Justin Fields. Would not be shocked whatsoever. And they found a desperate trade partner to take on the turnover machine known as Sam Darnold. I wouldn't be shocked. Do I think that that's a smart thing to do? No, I don't, because I think that they are in a rebuilding year, and I don't think the problems that they have are fully Sam Darnold's fault. Now, I don't think Sam Darnold is as good as people think he is, but I also can't put the blame solely on Sam Darnold. That organization is a mess. They put a lot of emphasis on the wide receiver position with Corey Davis. Getting him was big. They also signed another receiver. The name's not coming to me right now, but they had a lot of moves on the defensive side of the ball that they made. I believe Keelan Cole was the next receiver that they signed.
From the Jaguars, yep.
From the Jaguars, yeah, that's it. So, is Keelan Cole like a top tier guy? He's okay. Corey Davis, he's shown some decent things. I'm just not sold on anyone really threatening Buffalo, especially the Jets. I feel like it's going to be a long time before the Jets are competitive in this division.
Yeah, 100%. That's it.
I have on the bottom of my sheet, not worried.
No.
That word. All right, let's go on to the Miami Dolphins then. I haven't been paying too much attention, but Tua's down there still. He's got year number 2. I'm not really concerned about him yet. But Swank, what's your take on the Dolphins?
I mean, I think I'm probably as worried about them as I am the Patriots. And the Patriots jumped a little bit. They built this. Well, I'm not going to go on the Patriots, but like they got better. I think I'm still not worried. Like I still think it's either going to be a sweep of the AFC East or it's going to be we lose one freak game because we're already in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about them.
I also have not worried on the sheet for the Dolphins too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They got Will Fuller.
Yeah.
They still have Tua.
Yeah.
Tua's still trying to figure himself out. They do have the third pick in the draft. I think they're going to go offensive line, so they're going to show up their line a little bit. But they lost Lawson.
Yeah.
He went to Houston for one of these trades. I'm not worried about him yet. They are rebuilding the right way. They're rebuilding a lot like the Bills did, but they're not there yet. No.
Well, because a lot of it has to do with the way they treated Tua last year, right? So
Babied him.
Yeah, they babied him. They didn't let him lose and feel what that felt like. You know, you got Papa Fitzpatrick coming in to save the day, or
who's making $10 million in Washington. Good for him.
But yeah, man, I mean, I think that you set his development back at least a half a season by doing that to him.
Oh, yeah.
Like you gotta get him hit in the mouth, you know. And now you got Jacoby Brissett on there, who is like, I like him, but isn't that a completely different offense? Like that you're gonna have to run with him. Like at least half of it is gonna be different. I know Tua's a little mobile or whatever, but like it just doesn't fit me at all.
Right. What's your take on the old Miami Dolphins?
Give us a Ryan's take.
Yeah, the take on the Dolphins is this. Could you imagine a scenario where the Dolphins actually drafted Justin Herbert instead of Tua?
Oh man, that'd be scary.
I would be petrified right now. But much like the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins are not that smart. So they took a quarterback with a bum hip that can't rotate on his throws, has zero arm strength in comparison to Allen, comparison to Matt Barkley at the end of the season. Matt Barkley has more zip on his passes than Tua does, and that says a ton. I really feel like the Dolphins are a step behind, but I will say I love Brian Flores as a coach. I think he's a solid coach, really smart defensive mind. I like what they did trading Shaq Lawson for Bernard McKinney. I actually think that that's a solid move on their part. You know what Shaq Lawson brings to the table. Not that it's, anything bad, but it's, what type of player he is. McKinney's a decent linebacker. The Dolphins secondary is really good. It's going to get better as the years go by. So they're building something here, and it is similar to what Buffalo built, but I feel like that quarterback position is obviously the most important position in the game. And I just don't see Tua being the long-term solution for the Miami Dolphins. People can say I'm being a little bit too soon or judging a book by its cover too early, but
Tua soon, too early.
Tua soon. Yeah, that's a good one. But I think that Tua has just had so many injuries over the course of his college career that I just don't know if he's capable of not only just staying healthy at the pro level, but even when healthy, is he the player that he once was?
It's a mindset.
In Alabama, mentally, physically, I don't think he is. And they let the best quarterback on that team walk out the door. They let Ryan Fitzpatrick go to Washington. I thought Fitz was playing his best career football in a Miami Dolphins jersey this past season. I thought it was crazy when they benched him. And I think that they made a big mistake, and I think that they're going to find that out this year.
Here's their other big mistake. Whoever's not picked up by the Jets and Jaguars, quarterback-wise, watch Miami go after a quarterback with that third pick.
Yeah. That'd be something.
There's a lot of dumb picks out there, and trade Tua away.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. I mean, going after a quarterback, even though you picked one in the previous year. Look at the Washington Redskins when they picked up RG3 and they went out and they got Kirk Cousins. People looked at that kind of a what the heck's going on type of thing, but RG3 ended up, right. Well, it did kind of do the fact that RG3 tore his knee up, and then Kirk Cousins came and he had a halfway decent season following that. But I mean, Christian said, glad they got rid of Fitzy with Tua being the quarterback. The Dolphins will suck. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They
let's
did
get
sign
on to the old...
They signed Jacoby Brissett. So are we going to be worried about that? No.
Unless they keep babying Tua.
Right.
Yeah.
Too hard for me, Coach. Pull me.
Too hard. I don't want to be in here anymore. All right, guys. New England Patriots. They've made a lot of moves actually. let's start with the most important one. They signed Cam Newton back. Anyway, Jonu Smith, Matt Judon, Jalen Mills, Darren, I'm not even going to say his last name, Gashua, Nelson Aguilar. Then you have Henry Hunter. Then you had Kendrick, I think he's linebacker. So a lot of big pickups here. They're trying to compete with the Buffalo Bills, but the one thing that I talked to someone earlier today, this Cam Newton pickup for another year, are they going to trade him away? Because I feel like Stidham's going to start the season. But I'll let you guys take away with this. Ryan, what's your take on New England Patriots?
The New England Patriots spent so much money, and they had to spend so much money. That's like the debate right now is, the Patriots, they spent money that nobody's ever seen them spend. Well, they don't have Tom Brady anymore. So they don't have that guy that can attract the free agents to the team. So they have to spend more money. That's just the situation that they're in. But being honest, going into this offseason, when I saw the amount of money that the Patriots had in cap space, I thought they'd be able to attract better free agents than this. I mean, Nelson Aguilar, he had a decent season with the Raiders, but is he worth $11 million a year? No, he's not. Kendrick Bourne, is he the third best receiver on the 49ers? I don't even think so. I don't think he was even the third best receiver on the Niners. I look at Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Those are the best additions that they made, and they had to make those moves. They had to bring in Hunter Henry at tight end, and they had to bring in Jonnu Smith at tight end because their quarterback can't stretch the field. He can't throw deep. So they have to get tight ends that can only throw, that can catch passes over the middle. That's their offense. I don't think Jared McKinnon can stretch the field. So, I'm not really shocked with their offseason, but I'm more shocked by like this infatuation, like this bias that ESPN has towards the Patriots, saying that the Patriots are going to be a big threat. I'm not seeing it. I'm not trying to be biased in my own way saying that, but I'm not seeing it. I think that Miami is actually a little bit scarier, I guess, with some of the people they have, if you want to call it that, than New England. I feel like New England spent way too much money on players that really were not the best free agents outside of Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. They're good players. They better hope they make Cam Newton look good because he didn't look good last year.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? They paid those two tight ends like they were Travis Kelce. Like they're making more money than Travis Kelce.
65 million combined.
That's insane.
Jesus.
Like, and people want to broadcast it like it's the next coming of Gronk and Hernandez, and you have Cam Newton as your quarterback still. Like you don't have anybody to run this offense. Maybe if it was 6 or 7 years ago, but right now, the guy that cut my hair, he's a huge Patriots fan. I've known him for years. And he's just like, yeah, you guys better watch out. We're building this offense around Cam. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's why I'm not scared. Like, it's a Cam Newton. He played horrible last year for less than $1 million. Nate Peterman was making more last year than Cam Newton. And now you're paying him stupid money and trying to build an offense around him.
So like Zay Jones last week and Nate Peterman this week. Come on.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, Swank, you bring up a great point, Swank. I mean, if you bring in Cam Newton last year for 1 year, you think in Cam Newton's head that, man, this is my year where I can come back and do something and possibly get a 3 or 4 year contract down the road. I better step up my game. And he didn't. And then they go and they sign him for more money. It's just, yeah,
well,
they're lost. I like I said,
he was like going to be MVP. Right. He threw like the most yards he's ever thrown.
It's not 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just petered right out. And it's like, I don't know, man.
I have my theory.
What is it?
I think Belichick is coming to an end. I think this is a desperate move for him. And the reason I say desperate is I think he still thinks he's smarter than everybody. Bringing in these two tight ends. You have all these defenses all around the league preparing for 11 offense, 10 offense, 3 wide receiver, 4 wide receivers. I'm going to bring in 2 tight ends. Well, all these defenses are preparing for these widespread offenses. I'm going to run the ball. Yeah. I'm going to throw the ball to the tight end. All these other teams are stupid. They're not going to figure this out. I think it's Belichick. They're overspending on everybody. I'm looking at the numbers. and I see at least $5 million too much for every player.
I'll tell you what.
At least.
Sorry, not to cut you off. I have a great idea. He needs a new offensive coordinator, and his name is Douglas Marrone.
Right?
And just run the ball.
Just run the ball.
I'd run
just
every
run the
play
ball,
if
damn
I
it.
could. I think that is the new campaign, dude. Patriots for Marrone.
I mean, they're trying. They're trying. And then they go out and get David Andrews, an old Patriot, Ted Karras, an old Patriot for the line. And that was the one thing I knocked with them making all these moves. It's like the one thing they aren't doing is getting protection for Cam Newton.
Sure.
So they bring in some old Patriot guys. But I see this as a desperate move. Their defense is better. With the opt-out of who's their middle linebacker? Hightower. Vanoy is back. Hightower might come back. And Judon, that's obviously an increase in talent. But the way I pictured this whole state of the AFC East, it's a century of a quarterback. And until they can bring their quarterback play up to match Josh Allen's, I don't think any team compete in the AFC East. Because those defenses that all these guys are putting together, I don't think can stop Josh Allen in their offense.
Well, I'll say one thing about that. The only thing that really worries me about the Patriots right now is not anything to do with the offense. It's the defense with all those guys that opted out that are coming back. Like, their defense isn't going to be anything to mess with. It's going to be pretty close, I think, to the caliber it was before the year of the COVID.
Even with a whole year off?
I mean, these are tough. They've been a tough defense for a while now, and I think that this is going to be something that people are overlooking. And it might be like where the hype train is coming from, but it's not because everybody's excited about the offense.
I mean, I'm looking at a dirty defense here. Matt Judon, known for cheap shot on Josh Allen. Henry Anderson, the defensive end from the Jets, cheap shot on Allen. And Vanoy, he doesn't even know where he is half the time. So I see them being a mean defense.
Oh, sure.
Vanoy, he's got a couple rings though.
Yeah.
I definitely think Bill's going to coach up the defense, as he always does. The defense is what it is, but I have zero fear of Cam Newton. It is just the honest, God's honest truth. This is a hot take, but I think Buffalo has the two best quarterbacks in the AFC East. People can disagree with me. I really do. Like, I would take Mitch Trubisky over Cam. I'd take Mitch Trubisky over Darnold. I'd take Mitch Trubisky over Tua. And I'm not saying it because I think Mitch Trubisky is like the greatest thing on earth. I don't. It's just that those guys are not that good. They're just not that good right now. And a great point that was made, until one of these quarterbacks can reach the playing level of Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, that was Josh Allen in his third season. Watch what Josh Allen does in his fourth season, his second season with Stephon Diggs, his second season with Gabe Davis, his third season with Cole Beasley. And I think that this offense is potentially going to be even better. We haven't even had the draft yet. We could see a running back like Travis Etienne come here, Najee Harris come here. I mean, that's just on the offensive side of the ball. This team is only going to get better with who we already have, not even including who we could get.
Did you see the story of Najee Harris?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. I'm excited about the draft, but Najee Harris, what happens? His flight got canceled.
His flight got canceled for his pro day, and he's not even performing.
Oh, man.
And he drove 9 hours just to go watch his teammates.
Oh, man.
Saying a lot about the kid.
That shows a lot about him. Yeah, that says a lot about his character, and I'm sure that will get jotted down in those notebooks that the GMs are there. The GMs that are there. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. I think ESPN, just like last year, they thought that Cam Newton was a nice transitional piece. I think that the Patriots, I would say the Patriots are possibly wild cards to draft a quarterback. I think that should, if they're smarter than what they've shown, I think they should draft one. I don't think Cam Newton's the answer. I don't think Jarrett Stidham is the answer. If Jarrett Stidham was the answer, I think they would have started him much earlier than they did. And they started him at the tail end of the season last year, which I thought was pretty odd. You know what Cam Newton's got. You gave him a pay raise. And essentially, I mean, when the going gets tough for Cam Newton, he quits. he quits.
It's fun to watch.
Puts
Yeah,
the
it's
towel
like a little
over his
kid.
head and it's game over.
Yeah, he's a crybaby. 100%.
Well, the Patriots are picking mid round, I think 15th. So they're gonna have to trade up to get anybody that's decent, I think. I've seen Mac Jones trade up to 9 for him. But they'd have to give away a lot.
Trey Lance could go in that range. I think if they reached for him, that would be a one. But I mean, is that guy? I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that are an improvement over Cam Newton. So if they did reach for somebody in the second, like that is a second round rated quarterback, I wouldn't be saying, oh, that's a reach. For them, it's not a reach because they have Cam Newton. For anyone else, it's a reach. I mean, I have zero faith in Cam Newton. It's just unbelievable that they brought him back. I'm shocked by it.
Yeah, anytime you can improve a position, it's not a reach.
No.
Right.
Well, also, we have to take into account that the Patriots are horrible at drafting. Like, the worst. So,
Yeah, that's why they always trade up and get 15 extra draft picks per draft for
yeah,
players.
they get $1 million so that maybe they hit on one.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking the Cam Newton signing is going to be all about. They're going to trade him away for some draft picks. That's just what my opinion is, though.
I don't know, man.
No
I
one
think
wants him.
he doesn't know what to do without Tom Brady is the problem. Tom Brady was the selling point for all these players to come in. You'll win
Right.
a Super Bowl, put up with me being a dick. Like, just do what I say and you'll have a ring. And now they don't have that. And Tom Brady proved it. As much as I don't want to say that, he went down and won a Super Bowl with a team that had no godly interest or deserving way of winning a Super Bowl this year, and they did.
I mean, you
And-
saw
and-
exactly how he treated Arians on the sidelines.
Oh yeah,
You saw some videos of that. Arians would do something. He's like, no, we're not doing that.
just
Yeah.
like they weren't going to sign Antonio Brown, they weren't going to sign Fournette, they weren't going to sign Gronk. Like, yeah,
Thank you, Tom
And
Brady.
look what's happening now in Tampa Bay. You
Mhm.
have guys on the roster that signed that were part of the Super Bowl team taking pay cuts. That's what
Yeah.
happened in New England. That's what happened in
Yeah.
New England for 20 years. And nobody really gave it the credence, I guess, of the time of day. But that's what happened in New England, and it's not happening in New England anymore. That's why they have to pay $35 million to Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith each.
Right.
I mean,
Do that.
Jonnu Smith has only had one solid year, and Hunter Henry hasn't even finished a season that he started. He's been injury prone. I love it. I love it. I'm very excited to see Teddy Bruschi be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're 0-4 to start the season.
I'm still picking
I'm
them,
excited
but they're
for that.
0-4.
I can't believe it. They're 0-4. They lost to Buffalo 40-7. I can't believe it. I really think
Yeah,
that
well-
this is Buffalo's division to lose. It really,
absolutely.
it
Yeah.
really is. 100%.
Absolutely.
And like we said earlier, it's Buffalo's to lose, but we have two good quarterbacks too. We have two of the better quarterbacks in the AFC East, so that's exciting.
Yep.
All right. Hey, Ryan, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. You
Yeah,
can
man.
catch Ryan Thomas on the Thomas Take Sports podcast. What podcast venue are you on? Everything? Apple?
Everything. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Thomas Take, YouTube, Facebook, obviously. I'm everywhere, man. I really appreciate you having me on the show. You guys are great, and this was fun. Thank you.
Oh, definitely was fun. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back
2021,
on here.
2021 AFC East and AFC champions.
There you go.
2021
like it.
AFC East and 2021 AFC champions. I'm
Think about
calling it
this.
right
I'm
now.
writing that down.
Mitch Trubisky might have a Super Bowl ring for the Bills, and Jim Kelly won't.
Oh,
Scott,
Hey,
really, you had to end it like that.
Jim Kelly's going to get a nice fitted ring if we win a Super Bowl.
Oh,
You-
yeah,
you
no
know
doubt.
that's going to
No
happen.
doubt.
that'll be the biggest
I guarantee
GoFundMe
it.
you've ever seen.
So this is obviously an exciting time of year. We get to talk about the draft and free agents, and I just want to kind of end the show with a. I'm going to say this guy's name wrong. Mike Gerbers from ESPN. Signing of Mitch is yet another illustration of the fact that there isn't a better run football organization in the NFL than the Buffalo Bills. So, Fandemonium Mafia, sit back enjoy the ride. We got some big guys coming in already. Who knows what the draft's going to bring? It's fun. So let's be happy, and it's awesome.
Very good.
Any closing thoughts? Scott, you got any closing thoughts for tonight?
April 29th, draft party. 4 hours drinking, calling the shots, and see how many we can get wrong.
Yeah, and
Join
also
in.
we're gonna open
That
up the
sounds
phone
that
lines
sounds
for
like a
that,
good
right?
time. I
The
gotta,
phones
I
will
gotta
be
join
open
in
too.
on that.
Yo, Ryan, you want to call in on that? We'll get you.
Oh
in
yeah,
on-
I'm calling in on that for sure.
Hell yeah.
I'll make that happen. Last year I had like a 62%, not exactly, but I had like a 62% correct percentage of picks. I did call two
Wow,
at Miami.
yeah.
I knew they were that short-sighted that they would make that pick.
Is that his height joke for Tua?
Yeah, short-sighted. You got it.
What I
man.
see.
See, you got it. Hey,
Swank, what do you got, buddy?
Anytime you guys want to come on my show, you guys, I'll be in touch, and you guys can come on anytime.
Oh, awesome.
All right,
Will do.
perfect.
For sure.
All three of us at once. Here we are.
Yeah. That's hey, more the merrier.
There you go.
Swag.
Yeah.
What do you got for closing thoughts for this evening?
Well, I want to thank Ryan. Had a really good time. Sorry about all these little technical difficulties that happened this time. It pisses me off because I just got this Bruce Smith award that said that I'm the tech guy the night that I had the most technical difficulties here. So, but this is still super awesome, and I love these guys, and it's a great time to be a Bills fan. And if you want to join us, you can any Tuesday night right here on Facebook Live for the K-Gun Report. We talk about offense, defense, special teams, gout, whatever we want.
I've got a bad case of gout right now. That's all right.
And if you can't be there with us live, please check us out on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. Anywhere you get your podcasts. And you know what? Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right, just a
Go
reminder,
Bills.
I want to thank everybody who watched tonight and left a comment. You'll be in the running for this Brandon Tate autographed rookie card. We'll let everybody know who won tomorrow. We'll put your names on the wheel, give it a spin, and we'll put the video on 24/7 Buff Fandemonium tomorrow night for the winner.
Yeah.
All right, thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, S2E3. Go
Thanks,
Bills.
Brian. Go Bills.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Ryan.
Go Bills.
Oh, yeah. Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group.